And yeah, man, life is fucking good, dude. Life is fucking good. It is very nice. I was telling Dove earlier today that like I was just walking around my neighborhood and I was like, I could live in a beautiful neighborhood. Like, do you remember that story I told you when I was on Percocet and I like told the girl I loved her?
And the colors were different. And
it was just everything was so beautiful. Like that's how I felt this morning walking my dog, like without the stress of knowing that I had to record a special and knock it out and make sure every joke was right and make sure, you know, I was getting up and finding every loose end and make sure I was tying it. Like, to just wake up and go, we're just going to go do a pod later today at a certain time. And then we're 2 hours late already on the pod because I was trying to fucking post something on Instagram. Actually, yeah, we're 2 days late. Sorry about that, everybody at home. But just like, is this what normal people do every day? Is they just have a life of they enjoy their neighborhood? Is that it?
No, I think overall your stress from after the last show is just completely different. Like,
really?
Yeah, you went from like, it's peace. And then the next day you were crazy.
I was back on it or what?
Nah,
wait, what happened? What happened?
Nah, I mean, next day we was going for it.
Oh, we were partying.
Yeah.
Because after day one, I felt such a fucking calm. You know, like it was amazing. It was like I was more anxious for. Not entirely. We'll get into it. We won't get into that. But I was more nervous for the shows in San Diego than I was for the day 2 of special taping.
Yeah, why is that?
No clue. I think the shows in San Diego, I'm like, okay, I still want to make these tweaks and adjustments and get the special right. And this is going to be my last run through where I could see if the jokes and the timing and the order and everything works well. And then day 2, you know, I was like, okay, I think we got it. Let's just see what happens. And then we did day 2, and we're like, oh yeah, we got it on day 2. Yeah. Sorry, day 1. It's looking like it's gonna be Monday's shows. Yeah, didn't make it, but yeah, just huge thank you to everybody and just walking around with the fucking. I saw a guy on my block watching porn. Just sitting down on the street.
Nice.
And it was fucking amazing. He was an old Indian man watching porn on his cell phone, and he had his headphones in, and he thought that he was listening to it on his headphones. And it was just blaring out of his phone. It was like super loud, like moaning, like when you're trying to do the prank. Yeah. Right? Just and the guy's looking at his phone like this, and he doesn't want people to think he's watching porn. So he's like looking at like astutely, like he's like watching like a text or something like that. He's like, oh, okay. And I just walk by and I just hear like it distinctly Asian. It was like,
South Asian? Was it Indian porn?
I think it might have been South Asian.
Respect.
Yeah. Actually, I've never seen Indian porn.
Are they allowed to?
I have no clue. Have you guys seen Indian porn?
I mean, oh no, that's Muslim. Nah.
Yeah, no. I
No.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just Indian comments on.
Oh yeah, they're all over.
Yeah.
That's because they don't have porn.
They're all over
starved.
the comments, bro.
Yeah.
They go crazy on the comments.
I love it though in the morning. I mean, he's talking about his stress, but he's like, our neighborhood, Soho, it's so beautiful. And then he's talking about watching someone watching porn, and then an hour later, we're talking about brunch spots, and I'm like talking about one of my favorite spots. He's like, no, I went there the other night. Cat-sized rats just walking through.
Yeah, there's rats, but it's okay. It's fine.
That's
Like
New
nice
York.
rats.
That's
Yeah,
New York,
nice
man.
rats. Yeah.
It's character.
Oh, Al's showing me a video of 2 people just having sex on the metro.
Yeah.
On the metro.
That's
Subway,
love. It's
subway.
love. It's a
Sorry.
city of
It's called
love.
the subway. This
Was
is
that-
not Europe, okay? It's a subway, but guys,
that?
this is beautiful. You have to let these
It's
things happen.
romance, Dove. Why are you against romance, guys?
Dude, I was walking smiling. I was walking down the street smiling. Not looking at my dog like, if you don't take a shit already so I can get back there and finish this fucking special. Like, everything was an inconvenience because we needed to do the special.
Yeah.
And now that we have that part of it done, obviously we got to, edit and really kind of build out what the special is going to be in post. But having that part done is, I don't want to call it an achievement yet because we haven't made it.
Yeah.
The special.
Job ain't finished.
The job ain't done on some real Kobe shit. Job ain't done. But there is a part of the job that we had far less control of, right? Like you walk into a room of 1,000 people, you don't know what anybody's going to do. You don't know who's going to yell out. You don't know if I'm going to say the line right or if I'm going to mess up a line or do these things. Like we don't know, right? And at least in the edit, it's like we get to decide if we take a joke or move it over here or cut the joke out or something. Like now it's basically man hours.
Yeah.
Now we're building the pyramids. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But it's up to us how many hours we want to sit in the fucking booth.
The raw material is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys feel? What is it like?
I'm happy that it went well.
Yeah.
It felt like I got everything I wanted to get from like the shots I had in mind, and I'm like looking forward to the edit, even though I know it's gonna be an edit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun
because we have a lot.
We have a lot to work with. So
that's the thing. Al came to me afterwards, and he's like, the hardest part about this is we're gonna have to cut a lot of stuff that we really love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is best case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario is we got to stuff in shit that we don't want.
Yeah.
But it's often harder to not include something that is like a really special moment.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't fit for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So maybe we find another place for. I mean, like I think after day 2, Al's like, "Yeah, I think we got another crowd work special." And I'm like, "No,
we could.
Al wants to put out a double disc."
Son, we could. We really could if we wanted to. Give him heat.
What did you think about it, Mark?
Bro, I was shocked at how well it went.
Yeah.
Like going into it, like, I don't know. I personally wasn't like overly stressed. I was like just a regular amount of stressed.
Right.
Which I don't like the feeling of.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. I'm walking in, I was like, well, I hope the set looks good. Like I hope all the stuff that I wasn't even like really in touch with. I was like, I just hope that stuff is good. I hope the DP is good. He turned out to be amazing. Like,
yeah.
I just hope that this shit worked out, and it did. Yeah. So I don't know, in that regard, like walking into this thing and just having all these other people that were like good at their job, making stuff happen. I'm like, oh, it's a lot easier than doing it with just 4 people.
Yeah. It is interesting going into these things because like, I don't think there's skepticism of us as a team or as a unit, but since we don't operate like a production company, there is always going to be some skepticism about like the skill. Right? Like when you hire a production company, you assume they know what's going on. We don't even know the words for a lot of things. Like there's this thing called a steady cam, right? There's a thing called a steady cam, which is basically allows a cameraman to like move around with the camera being steady the whole time, right?
It's stabilized.
It's stabilized, right? So you don't have the shaking or anything. So the guy can literally run, and I guess it's fixated on like some like gyros or something like that.
Yeah.
So basically, the camera never moves. Al and I call it the handy cam the whole time.
And it's been used in cinema and TV for decades now.
Yeah,
it's like
but it's a handy cam.
I blame you because you put it in my head and I couldn't get it out.
He couldn't get it out. I started calling steady cam, and then he just kept calling handy cam, and I'm like, he's not going to know what I mean unless I say handy cam. So we just call. I think we were calling it handy cam. We're just calling the guy the handy cam.
They were correcting you for the first 3 or 4, and then after a while, literally these professional like videographers were like, the handy cam.
Yeah, they started calling it.
Shot of the ceiling with the handy cam. But yeah, so exactly. So we're a little bit rough around the edges, but we know what we want.
The thrust, oh my god.
The thrust, the trust, we don't know what it is. The part of the stage that comes out, we're just making up words for all this shit. But trust. What is cool was a cool experience is like, at first maybe there being a little bit of skepticism, and then when the vision starts to be more clear for everybody, right? When they like start to see the suggestions that we're making, and then see these things happen, and you see, what it looks like when the curtains open. I don't want to lose too much stuff, but like also seeing the people realize what they're a part of, and then them get excited by it, because these guys are production guys. They work on tons of productions. You know what I mean? You work on fucking Hannah Montana. You might not be excited about that. Yeah. And it's really cool for me to like look at someone who's been in production for a decade, and then they feel like they're actually part of something that's really exciting, and there's something that they're proud of.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they put more effort in, but it seems like they really want it to go well. Like they're making like suggestions for creative moves, and like that could really help the special. And like we'll have a conversation with them, like we always talk, amongst the team. It's like best idea wins. We don't have any idea. We don't have any ego when it comes to the best idea. And you get people offering some shit up. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
Dub, how'd you feel about it?
It was great. And you couldn't see it from where we were in the control room. Like you're seeing the screen with all 8 cameras up at the same time, and when you watch it in that way, you're watching the special. It looks amazing. So
yeah,
you guys are in for something.
Yeah.
And how did you feel after all the shows when we were just hanging out, going out and stuff? Did you feel like you were having fun in Austin or no?
Great time, right? I learned a lot about me.
A lot of alone time
about you.
Dub had a lot of alone time in Austin, I guess you could say. Like,
Did I have alone time?
Yeah.
No. When were you alone?
No.
When was he alone?
Just after the shows, instead of having companionship. He was He was
No,
alone.
you had companionship. You just didn't close anything.
No, that's a new stage of my life where
Yeah,
I
you got
can
some
open it
makeouts.
up.
You got some makeouts.
Oh
You know
my
how
God.
many times Dev has said to me like the last month, like I got touched over the pants. He's bragging about touched over the
He's
pants.
regressing
No,
back to middle school. That's what
Real
it is.
talk. You used to be
Yeah.
a closer, dog. What is this? Touched over the pants.
So this is a new
She
stage
was like
of my
rubbing
life.
me. She was like rubbing me over my pants, and I was like, I couldn't do it.
He
I
sounds
couldn't
like
do it.
Akaash before you got married.
Yo, Dove's a dry hump king, bro.
We need one loser in the crew, okay?
Akash is getting pussy left and right now from the same girl, but still, we
Mostly
need one.
center. He's just going
center.
one direction.
No, it's not that. It's I'm growing up. But it was one of these things where it's like you can't. People are like, "Oh, you're on the road. You're picking up girls from the show. You're taking them down." I'm like, no. The girls still look at me like, "All right, you hooked me in, but now you look like a normal, nice guy that I would like to date, and so you're gonna wait. You're not
That's
gonna."
Dove's excuse.
Wow.
Like, whenever a girl doesn't give many
Wow.
pussy,
I
it's
know.
like, she likes me too much.
Like,
Like, how do you even convince yourself of
yeah.
that? That's next level confidence.
She's
When a
in the
girl
future
says,
with me.
I'm not into it, and he's like, oh, you want long term.
I